Okay, so this is my security review of WhatRuns. This extension has over 400,000 users, bunch of great ratings, and it's featured, verified, and everything. But I found some absolutely serious security problems with it, one of which is exfiltrating ChatGPT chats, Gemini, and Perplexity. And I'm going to go through this and demo it and show some of the other problems that I've seen. So I'm going to add this extension. There we go. So we've got this. It says WhatRuns reads the source code of the websites that you visit. We do not use your data for advertising, profiling, or personal identification. Okay, brilliant. And they've got their privacy policy here, which I'm not going to read through, but I do notice it has some pretty key omissions. So what I'm going to do is pin this here. So WhatRuns runs on every site. It sends back the host name of every site that you visit, and that's to update this little notification thing. So even if you don't click it, it'll send back the site that you're on. And I think that is by design, because it is kind of useful to see the technology that's going on. I've not got an issue with that explicitly. However, if I open the service worker here, okay, then I'm going to go to ChatGPT, and we can see it's running on here. We don't actually need to open it on here for it to exfiltrate the messages. I'm just going to say, hi, how are you doing? And if we go into the network logs, it's got this collect prompt data endpoint. Interesting name for your endpoint. I think it says what it does. And this goes back to the WhatRuns API under the collect prompt data endpoint. If we have a look at the payload of the data that it's sending off, we can see my prompt, the content, and the HTML that it responds with. This is one of the main problems that I've seen with this. Let's just test this again. Again, we've got collect prompt data going off. So it is scraping all of the prompt data. There we go. And in the most recent one, we're going to have this response from GPT. If I open that up, there we go. Okay, that's the first problem. The second I've identified is every site you go to, it sends off the referrer, the title, and the full URL. So that includes query parameters. So if I go search, I am James. This is another one that it sends, I think, on the collect data endpoint. It's pretty explicit. It says the title, hi, I am James, and it's also got the URL with the exact search that I put in. And then we have a separate endpoint. See, this returns status 200 under the collect data endpoint. The separate endpoint returns back the apps which are used to display what the site is running. So we can go back and see here, raw host name, and then the URL. Reddit, we should hopefully get this. Okay, get site apps. Okay, yeah, Reddit. And then it also sends the title, referrer, and full URL over. That is not great. This is sending it to their own API, but then I've also found this endpoint here, get IG stores, returns a bunch of different stores. Amazon.de, let's go to that. So we've got this, let's go and go to pet supplies. Okay, so now this is actually sending off data to shopper.com, and it is sending off the various images that I've seen. So if we load this up, there we go. So it's loading, so it's sending off to shopper.com, their API, all the images that I'm looking at on these given sites. We should have something similar. So get site apps, There we go, DOM data. So same thing, it's scraping the messages, and you can see it actually being exfiltrated. Collect prompt data, conveniently named. Should be somewhere here. Hi, how are you? And we should get the response, hopefully, somewhere over there. Okay, yeah. And then it also seems to do this on Gemini, so let's go to it quick. If we have a look at the get site apps, we can look at the DOM data again, and then you can see the exfiltration on the collect prompt data. Here we go. Okay. None of this seems to be disclosed anywhere. I can't see where it says that it's scraping AI data. I think it's incredibly misleading to the user, because if you search for that, Gemini, Chat, GPT, doesn't come up. And this also isn't included in the extension bundle. So this actually dynamically fetches the selectors to get back this information. So it makes it even harder to discover what else they're potentially scraping. I don't know if they are doing any other scraping, but I think this could potentially allow them to incorporate other sites, like AI sites, into this. So yeah, that is the run through of WhatRuns. Still featured, verified developer, bunch of positive reviews. I actually used to use this. Now I will not be using it. Yeah.